Sucker. Dude, Eskimo, you scared the crap out of me. Yo, what's up? I need teams for Hell Demons. Really? But... No buts. Just do it. Damn, man. Did you not have your coffee this morning? Merlin kicked me out the house. So you need a place to crash tonight? No. Jake is scary. Yeah. Scary. Yo, what's going on, guys? Psychopoco here, bringing you another 7 Lessons Grand Cross video. For this, we'll be going over Hell Demons and giving over the team builds for Hell Demons with global friendly teams, so you guys can see where I am doing Hell Demons and give you an idea what you're going to expect doing these fights for all 3 defenses. So, guys, without further ado, let's go ahead and jump right into it. Now, the major difference for Hell Demons, no matter what, is going to be that you are going to have color-coded teams, and the combat class requirement jumps substantially, so you're going to have a lot more gear. Hell Red with this team: attack defense, HP defense, attack defense, HP. I don't know. I think it's HP defense. Blue SR Jericho. Yeah, let's do it. Friend, you see a comp that you should probably never use. These are all budget units. It's going to take a while. We're going to be using this with a budget team. Not the best team, just a budget team. Because no one had Blue Slater. And no one had Blue Bond. I can't even use the blue Nunchuck Bond I always use. Because he's not even available. Budget. This is Omega budget team. This is the Omega budget team. Alright, so we're doing the Hell Red with an Omega budget team. And we're doing this with 2 Omega budget teams. With Omega budget characters with rare SR units and then SSR Lizhawk. Because everyone and their grandma has SSR Lizhawk because she's on every banner. So, I'm going to be using Marmus, who's going to lower defense on the enemy. And he's then going to just do, and we're going to use Jericho. And I'm going to dump this Marmus card because that doesn't really matter. So, Marmus is here to boost my entire team's HP, which is very, very helpful. Lowering the defense of the boss is also very, very helpful for this particular boss because he's kind of a monster in terms of overall stats. So the difference in Hell Demons is that you're going to get completely destroyed with stat gains from the bosses. So be very careful of that. Boss breath attack here, and then I'm gonna tell him, yo, I have the buff right here, because that's all I can really say. We don't have anyone to remove stances, I don't think, so we're just totally screwed on that idea, because, you know, we didn't bring any stance removers like, you know, Slater or, you know, anyone else just in the game that would be, you know, helpful here. So we're just gonna have to deal with it and just roll through, I guess. And because we put up a debuff on the buff that lowers defense here, Blue Melly should do okay here. He's going to use some decent damage. You can see Lizhawk, even with the HP as well as damage reduction here, is doing about 38,000, so doing some really good damage here. Meliodas about 28,000, even with the damage buff here, so you can see he's doing okay damage. And we have no buffs on our entire team except for the resistance buff. Now, hey, Sekka, why is Jericho here? Jericho boosts your team's stats by 10%, which is really nice. So what we're going to do here is she also has a heal. It heals for 10% of your total max HP. But what's really cool is if you use Marmus, you have more max HP. Oh look, we have another debuff. So now I'm gonna go ahead and heal everybody with my Jericho. Big heal from the Jericho. Look, another buff from the Liz. We're gonna go ahead and lower the defense again, get that stack back up, and then I'm gonna drop a crappy card. Okay, you can see we got a minor heal here. Everyone healed up just a little bit, because that's all you really need, just a little heal. And there's another 14,000 from Arthur against the boss that has no ultimate gauge. And then we're sealing his debuff skills because that actually did damage. That's really funny. That's really funny. So now the boss can only use attack cards. I'm only getting Marmus cards here, which is epic. All right, so I'm going to lower the boss's defensive skills here because we're going to get more and more Marmus cards as the fight goes on. And that's all that really matters. So I'm just going to dump as much damage as we can here. And that's it. That's pretty much it. We're just chilling here. So this is slow as fuck. This is how Hell Demons are. This is terrible. Everyone and their grandma hates doing Hell Demons, and this is why I don't like doing it with global specific demons, because it's really annoying. So here's a little bit more damage now, because now we have defense skills down, even with the damage reduction from the boss. So with no stances here, we can do a lot more damage from Marmus. He's the uber damage increaser, so definitely a huge unit here. It was not a meme. I actually brought him because he's a great damage booster, because he's awesome. So this ultimate here, I only have 1/6 on the Japanese version, and I have 6/6 on global, Jesus. But this will remove, this is a charge ability, which is really nice. It's going to ignore all defense. I'm going to use that in the following phase. And I now got another bleed stack here. So what I'm going to do is I am going to go ahead and give myself another 2 buffs here. And you'll notice we have no one with cleanse, and there's no blue king here. And that's very helpful. So I'm just going to do that, and dump a crappy card, and we're good to go. We'll go to the second phase here with lots of resistance stacks and do lots of damage going in. Boom. Big damage from Lizhawk. You can see there with just 1-star cards, does massive damage with the Amplify buff. She's very, very good for this. And that's even with the damage reduction from the boss up here, so that's why it's super, super powerful. One of the things I like to use in this boss is blue SSR Bond as well as blue SSR Slater as a friend, but apparently we didn't have those today because, you know, just life is worthless today. You know, and he has a 6/6 blue Lizhawk. Oh, look at that. I wish I had a 6/6 blue Lizhawk, if only, you know. All right. So let's do some damages. Kaplow damage. And there's the damage. Boom. 283,000. Mine's obviously going to do a lot less. It's a rush ability, so the defense is not going to matter here from the Marmus, so I don't have to worry about that. Some big damage here from Arthur. Boom. Defense skills down, which is really nice. The blue SSR Arthur ultimate here is really, really nice, but we use 3 ultimates here in this phase, so now we got to go to the next phase, and we take more and more damage. So what's really interesting about this next phase is that this is the phase where we're going to take the most amount of damage. All the damage we took up to this point was very, very low, so now we're going to start taking heavy amounts of damage because we used all ultimates on the second phase. So we have some ultimates left over for the final phase here. And I'm going to go ahead and use a defense down here. I'm going to use a Jericho card here to do some damage. And then I'm going to go ahead and use a another card here from Lizhawk. And this should be enough damage to bring him about 50% or more HP. I'd say he's about here at the end of it. Jericho doesn't really crit unless you have defense skills down, unfortunately. But she does do some decent damage here. I think it does put up a bleed, but the bleed is, of course, immune. Meliodas hasn't been hit for a few turns here, so he might crit. Let's see. Double crit chance. He did crit, 115,000 with the max ulti, so not a lot of damage here, but a little bit of damage. And then here comes Lizhawk with a little bit extra damage. And then finally the Meliodas attack, giving us that little bit. So now the boss is going to hit us for a large amount of damage here. The amount of damage that you get hit for in comparison is very, very large to the first 2 stages. You see we took very, very little damage at all. And then here's the breath attack. Boom. There's a lot more damage coming out here. It took more it almost doubled his total damage that he was dealing to us. And this is a weakness-based attack, so just be very careful of that. So the nice thing about this is that I can actually put up a defense debuff skills here. If he does have a Lizhawk debuff here, boom, now we have that complete thing. Now I can heal us back up, and then I'm gonna go ahead and use another Jericho card here to do some damage. So debuff skills, can't really get it off because I can't do any damage here. There's the cleanse on everybody, boom, and then the Jericho heal, which is going to heal 15% of our max HP. You can see that big heal on Meliodas right there. He did a huge amount of healing on that Meliodas, so that's really nice because the 15% max HP heal can actually crit and do large amounts of damage, so that's really good. And there's Jericho's ability doing 85,000 with the damage reduction ability from the boss, so you can see she did some pretty good damage in. And having that Golgius in the back is also very helpful as well. So now I have be able to get the defense skills down here from Marmus, and then we'll be able to finish out the boss very easily. But this is a full team of characters that's able to do damage here, but you can see the amount of damage that the boss can do is very large in comparison to the first few phases. Meliodas actually dying here. I can show you that particular, and then Lizhawk getting hit. She's dead now. It doesn't really matter, but it is what it is. The damage ramps up very, very heavily from the first 2 phases. One of the things that's really nice here is having blue nunchuck bond here to have a snatch to lower the boss's damage. You can use petrifies if you want to too, but going all in like that is really unnecessary. I find just going in just with damage is more than enough most of the time. So here we are with the defense skills down from Marmus, and we're pretty much done. Slater and Blue SSR Bond are also very, very good here, but these are just budget characters that you can use for Hell Demon. This is, again, a very slow run of this without using any of the better characters, just boom all the way through. And these are all characters that everyone should have built out at this point for Training Cave or for other things, or have started to build out in general, so hopefully this will help you out. Next team. Red team of a good team. So this is the Nunchuck Bond that comes out later. This is Jenna, best character in the game for Blue Hell Red, and this is Lizhawk. So I'm going to be using Goddess Liz on the other side of this, and we're doing it with Easton. This is a this is the very easy version of this, and we're going to be autoing this. So I'm going to be doing global raids over here while we auto Hell Demons over here. So that's how you do Hell Demon on JP eventually, because You just get to a point where you have enough gear that you're literally just sitting there on auto for the whole thing, and both of us are going to be autoing it. It's really nice. Jenna is a stance remover at rank 1 stances. Blue Nunchuck Bond is a defense skills down character like Valenti, but with way more damage. And he also has a stance removal as well. He also has Snatch, just like the red and green Nunchuck Bonds. Goddess Elizabeth has lots of cool things. And we have Easton here, which is basically like an improved Hellbrim, except like you'll get more stats out of it. You can see he's autoing at the same time while I'm autoing, and we're getting lots of damage in. So I will see you guys in a bit. Guys, so there is Hell Green Red Demon on auto. There's a bunch of different variants of teams we use, but it's really easy, as you can see, to auto it when your gear gets good enough. So just keep working on your gear and your characters. There's a bunch of different characters you can use to auto this, so just know that it's not too bad after a certain point, and you get a lot of good stuff out of it just by autoing it. So one of the most annoying fucking things about Hellraise Netmarble is that you can't switch gear on association units that have the wrong color. So if you have an issue with an association unit and you wanted to put gear on that association unit, you actually have to look through your entire box, Netmarble, to find the character that you were looking for in the first place. Netmarble will also deal with the hell spot of constant raids. And then you gotta go into the character, and then finally switch the gear over. Then go back into the raids, Netmarble. And now you gotta invite your friend back, and then you can take your character and then put the association unit with the equipment on into your slot. Because you can't put them here to put the gear on, you can't select them here to change the gear. So if you gave us the option to change association gear, Netmarble, in the raids, thank you. Please let us do that. Just let us, when you have this gear symbol, can you let us be able to change the association gear as well? That would be very helpful, Netmarble. Just add that in. All characters that are in here, all association characters as well. Perfect. Please let us do that. Huge cool change. Okay, by the way, attack defense, HP defense, attack defense, doesn't matter. You got the Arthur? Okay, I'm middle. Let's do it. Okay, now we are in Crimson Demon. And in the Crimson Demon, this is the most difficult of the Hell Demons because the first two you can actually just auto. So this one is the most difficult because it is the most RNG dependent because it relies on Gowther rank ups. And that is super annoying. Gowther being the best character in the game currently on Global, thankfully we actually did get rank ups here, so that's fantastic. What I'm going to do here is I'm going to just do a Fudu Sendu Dumpuru. Yep, doing a full send dump. Typically you want to save as many DPS cards as you can, but I brought 2 DPS characters, so my job is to do as much damage as possible to the boss on the first phase, as well as the second phase. Hopefully we don't get screwed over and get all Gowther rank up cards. I need to put a debuff card on the buff, so in case I need to use one of these other abilities. Unfortunately, I got the worst possible hand to get because I now have cards that are really bad for this. So I have a rank up. I've let my friend know I have a rank up. This is the Japanese version of I have a rank up because we don't have the Gowther rank up card. that one you actually have to pay for on the Japanese version. We have to communicate via going pointy up. I point up. Okay, so I'm gonna do that. I'm gonna do that. So here comes the big damage. As you can see, this is with a 15,500 bond, as well as a 15,500 melee. I think his is about the same, and then here's the buff from the characters. Great. Here is the big BB damage without the smite, the ignite. Boom, 100,000, and then there's a big ignite. Boom, another 145,000. Great, and we got rid of that attack. Okay, so now Bond is ready to go. I need to save a Bond card, which sucks. Yeah, point to up. Exactly. All right, so now we're gonna go in. As you can see, worst possible card sets here. I'm gonna do a rank up here. I'm gonna do an ignite here. And I'm going to go ahead and do another card here because I literally do not have my ultimate because I literally have the worst possible card set. I literally cannot get my ultimate up. So we do not want to go to the next phase. We do not want to. We want to actually just tank this next phase here. We do not have our ultimates up. And going to the final phase without ultimates up is a death sentence. So you do not want to do that. You want to do a whole lot of chill, bruh, and try to get yourself another buff card. Because when you don't get DPS cards on your DPS unit, it is a big problem. So this is a big problem. I'm gonna have one more bone card here because if he does an AoE attack, he's gonna get me a. I got screwed again, as you can see. Very unfortunate. I am getting totally screwed over. Absolutely dominated in terms of cards. Only go through cards on the double DPS unit. This is terrifyingly bad. If this ever happens to you, which it will, and this is the reason Hell Demons are so annoying, it's not good. So, I'm going to go ahead and use a DPS card on the Meliodas. I'm going to use another DPS card on the Meliodas, and I'm going to use a Bond card. So, the reason I'm going full send here is because I need to get this Bond ultimate up. It needs to happen. We need to now bring down this boss as fast as we can this phase, and hopefully we have a 2-star buff next turn. If we don't have a 2-star buff next turn, we are in a big, big trouble. So hopefully we're okay. Here's the Bond damage. Boom. 215,000. As you can see, Bond very good for this fight, but only on the third phase do you get anything, and he relies on Demon Meliodas Ignites. Once Demon Meliodas is out of the meta for you on this fight, yeah, he's not very good anymore. All right, so now the reason Bond is nice for this fight, he got the rank up, he has the buff. I'm going to use a snatch here. It's going to lower the boss's defense and apply a debuff. I am going to ultimate with my 6 out of 6 Demon Meliodas. And then I'm going to figure out, we're going to probably use this Bond card, to be honest, okay? This is a 6 out of 6 Demon Meliodas ultimate. And a 1 out of 6 Bond ultimate. With a buff, we don't have go through stacks. And we have like maybe 1 go through stacks actually. So here's the Bond snatch. It is going to lower the boss's defense as well as provide me a nice amount of damage here, which is about 100,000 damage. Here comes the Arthur attack ultimate, which is going to do probably, if he has max Arthur, about 200,000. Yep. And here comes the Demon Meliodas ultimate. This one will do bonus damage because it is the boss is weak to weakness based attacks and should get close to, you know, almost one tapping. But it wasn't enough, as you can see. And here's the Bond 2-star, and we barely finished it. Barely. And that's with 15,000 attack. We barely finished it. So many people ask me what's the best DPS unit for Hell Demons. You really just gotta one-shot the last phase. If you don't one-shot the last phase with a 6 out of 6 Demon Meliodas, it becomes a little bit tricky. So 2 Demon Meliodas ultimates will be about 300,000 apiece, so that's pretty good. But the Hell Demons are a little tricky. They're a little tricky for Crimson. But in the other phases, they're a little bit easier. This one's a little harder. Alrighty guys, so we're going to be doing Hell Grey Demon on auto, but unfortunately I have the same problem as last time, and I don't have equipment on my characters, which is so annoying, that marble. When you have gear on the whole time. So I have gear on. I should have done this. I was foolish. Anyways, I'm going to be using Green Liz, Valenti, and Merlin with a cane. This is going to be the maximum damage, and I'm going to be using Resistance Food. The reason I use Resistance Food over here is because then it makes my team tankier and makes it easier for us to do the run. Over here, we have a King as well as we have a Hellbrum and Gil Thunder for a double buff. This is Zaneri. This is not a boosting unit. This is a unit that will actually just give him extra cosmetic rewards. Does not provide any kind of substantial bonus. This is basically a dead character. So don't even think that this is something that you need. This is just something to give you extra resources. So don't at me on that. This is for Grey Demon. We're going to be doing the fight here on auto, and I'll be describing exactly how it works and why it works so well. And we're using one team, of course, with Valenti and the other team without Valenti, with then just a normal team. Now, this is the best possible makeup for a Grey Demon on Hell difficulty because the entire team is receiving a double buff. Unfortunately, there are 2 major problems with this team. The first problem is Hellbrum Ultimate, and the second problem is Liz's attack 1-star card. Those are the 2 major issues with this team, but without those 2 issues, it's totally fine. So what I do in order to auto Grey Demon and make it so it's faster initially is I will actually use 2 cards initially on my Liz and then immediately switch to something else. So I'm going to use both of these cards here on the Liz and then use a shield and then hit auto and I'll be done. So 1, 2, 3 and then hit auto and I'm out. So that's all I do just to make it faster, because what a lot of the time what happens is you don't use 2 Liz cards right away and it will make the run take longer. By using the 2 Liz cards right away, I'm actually rushing my ultimate, so he goes a lot faster. And Diego is either gonna play it by normal or he's gonna just do whatever he wants, you know. It's actually faster if the person with the DPS team doesn't auto, and it's faster if I just go on auto. But it really is just gonna depend on what Diego wants to do here. Doesn't matter too much, but you can see here's the damage I'm taking with resistance food on Hell, and you can see the shield damage we're taking is significantly negated. Look at my side of this things, and we're taking almost no damage. Look at the shield break on the King in particular. Like, this King took almost no damage from the shield here because we have the Valenti, and on over here the characters with less resistances or lower defensive stats are taking more damage. So just letting you know, that is exactly why we use Valenti on this, to lower the boss's pierce rate damage in general and rush ultimates. Now, the amount of card damage that you do does not really matter on this fight on the early phases. As you can see, we're getting patience on the first turn substantially without any buffs, so we don't have to worry about too much. And now on this phase in particular, he's not even needing to buff. If he wants to buff, he can, but usually people just save buffs in the first phase until the second phase in order to give themselves the maximum amount of damage. If you do want to buff in the first phase, it's totally fine, just up to you. Right here, I'm gonna get my Valenti rolled back, which is, you know, somewhat good, somewhat bad, it really depends. And right here, we're gonna get a Merlin card here, and then a Merlin ultimate, and then another Merlin card. Unfortunate, because I don't get my Valenti ultimate after this, and the nice thing is we don't kill the boss, so I don't go to the next phase. So by doing that, we're getting a decent amount of damage. It should be about 100,000 damage, I think, on this Gil Thunder, and then about 200,000 from my Merlin on the first phase, and then the damage substantially drops on the second phase. Typically what you're going to see on this fight is that it takes a little bit longer than normal because it's just the amount of turns that you're going to have to do to get through the hearts. The boss has a lot more HP, as you can see. We did about 300,000 damage. He's now landed, and because we have the shield up on this phase, which is really nice, the shield is actually going to protect us entirely from the boss's AoE attack, which is going to do the slam down effect. And because we have Valenti on the team, it doesn't break the shield, so most of the characters on the team, including the DPS rush characters, are actually not going to be affected by the anti-heal thing. But luckily we have a 2-star Liz over here to heal these guys back up, a Gil Thunder buff, and then we have another buff here. And I think this might be enough damage in order to kill the boss. I'm not exactly sure, but I'm hoping it will be with a 2-star and everything cards here. Diego's really smart here, and he's actually not using his damage cards till very late into the fight, and it makes it really, really easy for us to push through. So here's the Gil Thunder buff here, boom, and then he's got a 2-star King, so hopefully this is good damage here, boom, and boom. We didn't actually kill him. As you can see, it's a little bit harder to crit on this phase just because of how the boss is. Unfortunately, this fight's going to take even longer now because it's going to probably ultimate on this card here unless Diego gets his cards off first because I have the auto on. If I turn off auto, it won't do that, but you know, you got to keep it on auto, you know what I'm saying? It's for the fun, for the memes. All right, so now here you can see because we took the extra second turn here, we're going to take a little bit longer on this phase, but that's totally fine because you can see we have the debuff over here on these characters. So by getting the ultimate up early, that would actually be very, very negative. So I'm not going to have the Liz ultimate up next turn, which is ideal now because now I'll have it up in the following turn, which would be even better. But I also didn't use a Valenti ulti, which is also going to save me an extra turn next turn, and hopefully we have some buffs up to get our big damage in. No buffs right now in the Valenti, unfortunately, but it is what it is. So every day what I do is on auto with this team because I use resistance food and my friend usually uses attack food or crit damage foods. You have one supporting team and one attacking team. By doing that, you give yourself more damage overall because your whole team is optimized for like fighting this boss. And here we have the Valenti ultimate, thankfully, before the Hellburn ultimate, which does happen. Hellburn before Valenti sucks. Hopefully that never happens to you. It really sucks. But here we go. There's the Valenti ultimate with the 6 out of 6 Valenti with the HP defense, 271,000 with only one Hellburn buff with no Gil Thunder buff, so a lot of damage there. You get a lot more damage with 3-star buffs. I hit over 500,000 on global today. It was actually pretty cool. And then we got this damage coming in from over here. You got a Liz cleanse, and I'm actually, after this turn, I'm able to rush ultimates again, which is really, really good. So by having Liz on the team, you're able to constantly rotate through your ultimates, and typically it's like really powerful to be able to just consistently roll through ultimates here. So he's gonna have his king ultimate here, and I'm gonna have my Merlin ultimate up for the boss. It's gonna go down, and then we can just continuously push it. Very, very helpful on this phase. So it's probably gonna do the Merlin shield first, like it usually does, and it's gonna go for double damage here. And here's the ultimate from King. It's gonna do my Merlin ultimate and his attack cards, as well as rushing my ultimate. So he'll already be at 4 ultimate gauge on his king here, which is really nice in case we don't kill it. Here comes the king damage with just 1 buff, 210,000. Shield up from us now. So now if we don't make it through this phase, we'll be very, very easy. And here comes some extra king cards. Not a lot of damage. Typically, people use the king cards first, but it doesn't really matter that much. And if you're rushing ultimates and damage is primary from ultimates, it doesn't matter as much. So here's the damage from Merlin, and we're done. So there is Hell Grey Demon on auto. Very easy, very, very good to do. Valenti trivializes this entire fight, makes it very, very, very easy. If you've ever used Valenti on the extreme difficulty, you can see exactly how much damage he reduces on the Hell Demon fights. It's very, very nice to have. So definitely, I recommend one team with Valenti and the other team with a normal DPS team. All right, guys. Well, my name is Second Poco here. Thank you so much for watching. Hope you guys enjoyed this video. If you guys did enjoy the video, of course, like and subscribe. Apparently, like I didn't know this, but I never caught on to this. MXR play, the MXR mods guy, he just says, make sure to subscribe for more subscribers. Henry, yes, Henry, thank you, Chad. Oh my God, Henry from MXR Plays. I can't believe, like, I never noticed that, but he says subscribe so I can get more subscribers. It's so funny. But yeah, I did subscribe so he can get more subscribers. Have a great day, guys. Bye.